Hi, and welcome to another segment in your Brookview Finance Club case study series. Today we're going to take a look at a house in Hamden, Connecticut, which was actually purchased by my company, Home Remedies LLC, rehabbed and sold all within a 6-month period and netted a handsome profit in the process. I'm going to take you step by step through the entire process, from finding the deal, rehabbing the property, then selling it quickly for a sizable profit, and every step in between. While every deal is different, once you become comfortable with the process of buying, fixing, and selling real estate, you'll gain the skill and confidence necessary to become a successful rehabber as well. So let's get started. As you probably know by now, you can be successful in this business without a real estate license. However, it's certainly much easier if you have one. This property was bank-owned, listed on the MLS, and on the day the price was significantly reduced, being a realtor, I received a notice and made my initial inspection that very same day. Here's a view of the listing. One of the first things you should always notice when examining any property for the first time is the number of bedrooms, baths, and square feet. Sure, there are many other things to consider, but this is generally a great place to start. Notice in this listing that this house has 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, and its size is 1,200 square feet. Now normally 2-bedroom, 1-bath houses are nothing to get excited about because they're so challenging to sell. But notice the size, it's 1,200 square feet, so there could possibly be a way to convert some living space into a 3rd bedroom. Plus, since this is a cape, I'm already familiar with most conventional cape layouts, so I know there's a good chance we can make this work. As with many bank-owned properties, the listing agent sometimes isn't as familiar with the property as he or she should be. Some agents feel they're just too busy to physically inspect every property they list and simply rely on a drive-by photo and whatever information is provided by an online field card when submitting their listing on the MLS. Thankfully, this property had one such agent. Here's a view of an online field card, and as you can see, while he got the number of bedrooms right, he missed the 2nd bath. This was actually an experienced agent, so there's a good chance he had a less experienced assistant help him with this listing. No matter what the reason, the incorrect information helped me to find a deal when other investors decided to pass. Lesson learned: never trust MLS information as absolute fact. When first inspecting the property, you'll want to first notice the outside of the house as well as the surrounding neighborhood. We already knew from the MLS listing that this was a standard brick cape, and from the initial inspection, the exterior seems to be in pretty good condition. We also noticed that the neighborhood is mostly comprised of brick capes, so our house conforms extremely well to the neighborhood, which is another huge bonus. There's also an attached garage, which is always a great selling feature. The rear of the house looks good as well, with only minor paint peeling around the rear gazebo. There's also a large level yard with few trees, so everything from the outside seems to look good so far. Once inside, we'll start with the kitchen. And as you can see, it's dated and pretty well worn out. The cabinets are a Formica laminate and are most likely not original to the house, but still are extremely dated and will have to go. However, the good news is that the tile floor is in great shape and can most likely be saved. As we continue through the inspection of the kitchen, we notice this wall which separates the kitchen from the dining room. It's a load-bearing wall, which we can tell by the direction in which the wood floors are laid in the dining room. More on that later. But if we're able to remove it, we'll have a nice open kitchen-dining room combination. Definitely a selling plus. And speaking of walls, notice the wall in the dining room which leads to the living room and the front door. While arched doorways can be desired by some buyers, the architectural style dates this house, and when combined with a small doorway, it contributes to giving this house a chopped feel. In the living room, we see for the first time a way for us to easily convert this house into a 3-bedroom home. You'll notice that this living room has been expanded by the removal of a wall which separated it from the rear room that probably was a 3rd bedroom at one time. As we all know, you'll need a closet in order to correctly call this room a bedroom, and since this room doesn't have one, we're going to have a problem, right? Well, not exactly. Yes, there's no closet present, but if you look in the hallway, you'll see a door which leads to a very deep linen closet. So, once we close off the hallway door and create an opening in the new room, we have an instant closet and thus a real bedroom. This house is looking better and better by the minute. We also notice a fireplace in the living room. The glass doors look tired, but there's a chance that they might be able to be cleaned up very nicely. Also, the mantle may have to go since it does give the house an older feel. The walls in the living room are actually covered with painted paneling, which will have to be removed, and if the walls behind the paneling are severely damaged, we're going to have to sheetrock the entire room. The good news is, however, the ceilings are in great shape. In the first floor full bath, we find the original bathroom, complete with what's commonly referred to as a tile mud job. Made popular during the early part of the 20th century, this durable method of laying tile into a thick mud-like adhesive is not something you want to demo if you don't have to. Unfortunately, even though the tiles may be intact, the colors often reveal the true age of the tile and aren't compatible with today's more modern bathroom look. The good news is that there's a simple solution which will allow you to update your bath for a fraction of the cost of a full gut rehab, but more on that later. As we look up the stairs, notice the wall to the left of the stairway, which separates the stairs from the dining room. If that wall were to be cut down to a level even with the banister on the right side of the stairs, we could create a much more open feel while creating a smoother flow from the living room past the stairs to the dining room. Okay, let's take a look upstairs to inspect the rest of the house. At the top of the stairs, there's a half bath which the listing agent failed to note in the listing. It's in need of rehab, but it's rather large and might possibly provide enough space for us to upgrade this to a full bath. The bedrooms look to be in good condition with no damaged walls or ceilings. The built-ins are an added bonus, and with some fresh paint and new hardware should look like new. Throughout the house, the hardwood floors look to be in good condition and should look new after being refinished. Down in the basement, there's a finished area with old carpet and dark paneling. With some paint and new carpet, this area will make a great media or family room. The furnace looks to be just a few years old, as does the water heater, so no repairs or upgrades seem to be needed there. The electrical service does have breakers, however, the panel cover is missing, and at first glance it seems to be only 60 amps. We can tell this by looking at the main breaker. Okay, now that we've been through the entire property, it's time to first decide if this is a house we're interested in making an offer on, and if it is, we'll move on to the next step, which is estimating repairs, and we'll cover that in the next session.